Hey everyone, Woody here. A few days ago, I said I was going to make a video on how to run for PC and state delegate. So here I am, as promised. So you're probably wondering, why should I run for PC and or state delegate? Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit later, but first, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to fill this form out together, and I'm going to show you where to find the information to find or to fill that form out, whether in Marion County or outside of Marion County. After that, I'm going to show you, if you lived in Marion County, where to file it and kind of the plan of what we're going to do when filing it and where to park and everything else. If you live outside of Marion County, you basically just have to go to your city county building, go to the election board office and file it. There are a few things that we have to talk about when running for your state delegate, though. Then after that, we're going to talk about some marketing if you want to spend any money on this whole thing. Depending of how big your precinct is and how popular it is, maybe it's not a bad idea. For me, I will be doing it. And then how to get the data for your precinct. Because if you're a Republican or a Democrat that's running for PC, you're going to kind of need it, but there is another option of doing it, and we'll talk about that too. And after that, we're going to talk about why you should run and why it is very important. And even though you think this is a very minuscule position, it is a very important position. So let's get into it. But first, are you even allowed to run as a PC or state delegate? Well, there are some rules you have to abide by. Number one is you have to be a registered voter, obviously. Number two is you have to live in the precinct that you're running in. Number three, you have to be a Republican in good standing. What does that mean? Well, you had to have voted in the last two Republican primaries. Pretty simple if you're a regular voter. And then we can start filling out the Can 37. So let's get into that. First things first, you're going to go to the Secretary of State website. I have the link below, and you're going to go and find your Can 37. Now, this is very important because you're going to have a separate form. It's the same form, but two of them, but one you're going to have checked off for precinct committeeman, and then the other one you're going to have checked off for state convention delegate. So after that, you're gonna have them type in the county, your name, and I am a registered voter of precinct blank of the township of blank. I'm sure most of you already know what township you're in, but maybe you don't know which precinct you're in. Pretty easy to find out. You're going to go to the indianavoters.in.gov and you're going to check on your voting status. You're going to put in your name. Whoops. You're going to type in your county. That's me. And then send a text message to me. You will get a code. You will type in the code. There we go. Well, I'm in Wayne Township and precinct Wayne 057. You will put that into your Can 37, and then after that, or if you're a ward, if applicable, if you're in a really small town, that would be applicable. You're going to put your city or town, and then the county again. I reside in blank congressional district. Which congressional district am I in? Perfect question. You're going to go house.gov representative, find your representative, and you're just going to type in your zip code. For me, personally, I have Greg Pence or Andre Carson. I know that I'm in Congressional District 7. Most of you will not be split up like I am. If you're not sure, you will just put in your address, and then it'll tell you which congressional district you're in. I am in Congressional District 7. After that, you will just check if you're a Republican or Democrat, only one, and then you'll check precinct committeeman, and then you'll put in the name of your precinct. The other form you will not be checking PC, you'll be checking state convention delegate. Now, where do you find that information? Great question. For Marion County, I'm pretty sure I got it figured out. It's going to be the election district maps, and then you're going to click on political party delegate districts, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. You click on Republican, it'll give you a zip file. You click on which township that you're in. For me, it is Wayne Township, and then it will tell you which Republican delegate district that you're in. Same thing if you're a Democrat. Now, for me, I'm not going to fill this part out because I'm not 100% sure. And if I'm not 100% sure, I don't want to give you bad data if you're living in Marion County. So I'm going to wait until I go and file the paperwork at the election board and have them tell me, and then I will put it on there. Now, on here, you'll just put your residence address and your mailing address, yada, yada, yada. And then the certification. I would wait to sign that. When I ran for office, I waited and I made sure that someone was there in front of me, and I said, I want to sign this in front of you, and they were like, okay, that's fine. And then after that, it will get notarized, you will get a copy, and then your name will be put in the system that you are running for office. Now, after that, if you live in Marion County, there's a much faster way of doing it. Find your voting district. My district. It'll open up the tab. Bingo bongo. I am Precinct 57, Township Wayne, yada, 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 and Congressional District 7. Pretty awesome. Pretty easy. No big deal. If you have any questions, if you want to, you can do elections. I'm just personally going to wait until I get there because I just like FaceTime. I want accountability for the state convention delegate. Pretty easy, right? No big deal. Here comes the fun part. You have to go and file it. And where do you file it, you might say? You are going to be going to if you're in Marion County, this only applies 100% to Marion County. Everybody outside of that, you're on your own. Go City County Building, Election Board. You will be going to 200 East Washington Street. Now, there are 3 entrances into this building, and it is important that you only take one. You can't take it to the other 2, but you're going to have to go through security, which might involve a rubber glove. Not saying I know this from personal experience, but there is an entrance here. There is an entrance here off of Market Street, and the one that you're going to be going to so you can avoid that rubber glove is the one off Delaware Street. And so for parking, hey, I don't like downtown as the next guy because I hate parking. But you only have to pay like $4 or $8. There is a parking lot right over here across the street from Fogo do Chao. Boom, right there. It's right close to the city county building. Don't mind the vagrants. They're all over the place. And then after that, you're going to hop out of that parking garage. You're going to go this way until over here, till you're right there. You're going to go right here at this entrance right here. And so the election board and the voter registration is right before security. And it's probably because so people can register to vote without having to go through security. Because it's really not like a compromise if you're going through the election board or voter registration, which is fine by me. And then you'll just go through the whole process. You give them the paperwork. You say, I want to file for candidacy, and just tell them what you're doing. You say, I need to know what my state convention delegate is, and then they'll be able to tell you. You'll get it notarized. They'll give you a copy of it. You'll be on your merry way. No big deal. Primary is on May 7th. And then you'll be able to know if you won your precinct or not. Now, here comes another important part. How many people are going to be running in your precinct? And when should you file, too? So the end of filing is February 9th at noon. Now, the establishment GOP, we're just talking about Republicans right now. The establishment GOP know the grassroots people are coming after them. We want to replace these scumbags, and they know it. So they're bringing in their own infiltrators to try and avoid this. But there is a public website where they can see of who has filed for candidacy. When I ran, it was on the website within like an hour or two because I went around noon. So what I would do, which what I'm going to be doing, is at the end of the day, towards the end of the day on February 8th or in the morning on February 9th, I will be filing it because then they have no time to find somebody to replace me of Precinct 57. It's a rather big precinct, but you never know how crafty they might be. Now, if you are worried, like I'm worried, I will be doing some marketing. I will be talking to some people about me running for office for PC, because every Republican that votes in the primary will be voting for you or not voting for you, depending of how many people are running. Now, where do you get that data at of who is in your precinct so you can talk to these people? The voter registration is. So while you're there, it's not a bad idea to go right across the hallway, and you're going to have to fill out a FOIA request, and you're just going to tell them you want them for your precinct in the last election. That's all you need. You just need the walk list for your precinct for that election. And if they're not scumbags, they'll be able to give it to you within a couple of hours, if not like a day. I had to go through 3 FOIA requests to get that data, and it was for my district, for District 16, for the Indianapolis City Council race. I don't think, of course, there is some there are some previous things that happened before that, which I'm sure I know why it took 3 times to get that data. But for an average person who doesn't regularly start shit with the government, you should be just fine. There is another option though, and this was since nobody wanted to give it to me, I had to go through this. You're gonna go through Google Maps, and then actually let's just do it. Let's just do it here. Let's say example over here. Say you're in this district. All of these houses are numbered. All right, you got 230 Reisner Street. So where are you gonna go after that? I should not be showing you this stuff, but I'm going to because it's all public information anyway. So 230 North Reisner Street. I'm going to get in so much trouble. 230 North Reisner. Boom. It's Quan Win. Now, this is what you could do. This is what I'm doing. I am making postcards with my information on there. Obviously, that's not me. And then on the back side, I will have a address label, a postage, and then a return address on that, and I will just have them on there. And I don't know if they're going to be Republican or Democrat, but at least I'm getting the name out. It doesn't really matter. It really depends on how much money you want to spend. I'll have these printed at my local print shop, or I'll have them printed at Vista Print, and I'll just get postage. Just let you know, if you go into the post office and you ask for stamps, make sure you ask for postcard stamps. It's like 25 cents cheaper. And by the way, they are increasing the pricing for stamps this year. So I think it's like 70 cents now. So you'll be able to get them for like 50 cents each, maybe. And then usually you only have like 100 people. Like you can see here on 33. I mean, you can see how little amount they have compared to, say, my district on 57. But I already have all the voter data, so it's only going to be like 100, maybe 100 people that I have to send mailers out to. So after that, it's not a bad idea to talk to some of these people. If you've been in your neighborhood for a long time and you're friendly with them and you know all who the Republican voters are, this is going to be so much easier for you. For someone like me, who I have a big district and I really don't go over here, not because of safety or anything, but just because like it's not that walkable. I've never had a real reason to go over there. It's not a bad idea just to talk to people if you have that voter data. The voter data is really the most important part, because then you can just talk to straight Republicans and not Democrats. Now let's talk about why it is important to run for PC. And there is a website called the Indiana PC Project, and they've done a great job at kind of filling in the gaps on what your duties are, how to run, why it's important, and you can contact them. They'll get back to you almost immediately. They'll even put on a personal presentation if you have a group of people that want to run for PC, and they'll give you a lot more detailed information than I could ever have. Because right now, this video is just meant how to run and kind of why it's important to run. Which it is, because in this whole pyramid scheme of parties, whether it's Republican or Democrat, the PCs are and the state delegates are the most important part. We are the base, literally. We are the ones that make the decisions. So if you were to win in the primary in the summer, there will be a GOP state convention. I don't know where it's going to be held, but you will have to pay $100 to get in. But from what I understand, it is well worth it because this is the time, at this time of year, there's some elections coming up. And one of them is, or there are a couple, I think there's only two, maybe three. It is lieutenant governor and attorney general. And your vote is put in on who you want to basically speak up for you, whether it's Rokita, right now the lieutenant governor. That race is going to get very interesting for the Republicans. I'm looking forward to it. And but as a PC, you can caucus people in. For example, Jack Sandlin, who unfortunately passed earlier, last year from a heart attack, Cindy Carrasco ended up getting voted in from PCs. Now, there was another person, John Jacobs, and he only got a few votes, and Carrasco got more votes. But your vote counts towards that. Like if there was some kind of scumbag, and there are a lot of scumbag PCs, but maybe there were more grassroots PCs that didn't want a scumbag in there, your votes would matter a lot more. So that way you don't have a scumbag in office. It's that kind of importance that why people need to run for PC. And I'm thinking about going on a rant, but I'm not going to. I really want to just make this very efficient. The county chair is also what you're voting on, which is probably one of the most important positions in the Indiana Republican Party. Because Marion County right now has a huge problem with it. And as far as I know, our current county chair will not be running for re-election. But that county chair is also in charge of finding people to run for empty positions. Example, 2023, there were 10 uncontested seats for Indy City Council. What are we doing here? That's part of your job. Part of a PC job is if you're in your certain township is finding people to run for office, whether it's city council, state rep, state senator. These positions need to be filled. And part of your job as well is finding those people to fill those positions. Like, there's no real reason why any position should be empty when it comes to running for office. Right now, this year, all the state rep positions, I think all the state rep positions are up for election, at least in Marion County. And we're trying to find people that want to run for office. Even if you don't think you're going to win, it doesn't matter. We need the data. The worst thing that you could do is have someone win uncontested. It's one of the worst things ever because then we don't even have the data. If we have data, and we know that we have a good chance of winning, of replacing, say, a Democrat, the party is more likely to give you money to try and beat them. Trying to fund your own campaign is a big old pain in the ass, and that just comes from personal experience. So the other part of the job, if you do win PC, is that you have to vote, you have to fill in a vice PC, and they have to live in your precinct. So if you're married, that person can be your vice PC, because if you don't fill that position, the establishment GOP will find somebody to fill it in. And then, they can just go through this whole sabotagery and try and get you out some way. I don't think there is a way, because if you're elected, you're elected, but they might neutral out your vote. If, say, like the whole Jack Sandlin Carrasco thing happens again in your district. The other thing too is carrying out the functions of the party at a local level. And this just goes back to what I was saying earlier, finding someone as a candidate, filling in these empty PC spots. It's very important to have as many people in there as you can. And I have a note on here that's like basically 15 to 30 hours a year. Probably, I don't know. That's more involved with attending your local GOP meetings in Marion County. We have township meetings, and I don't know how regular they are. Wayne Township currently doesn't have one, and that, by the way, that's because of our current county chair leadership. That's why. So attending these meetings as much as you can, attending the reorganization meetings, what I was talking about with the Carrasco-Sandlin situation, caucus meetings, anytime that you have a chance, try and going into poll locations too, whether you're an observer, whether you're a worker, if you're at central count, if you want to do where empty absentee ballots too. I forgot what the actual term of it is, but you can be as a group, and you're basically going to like senior homes to people that can't really get out on their own, and you're giving them an absentee ballot, and you're verifying that it's them. I really recommend people doing that. I'm going to try and do it this year because from what I've heard, there's a lot of shady things going on, and I'm really curious of how true it is. Well, like I said, this website has a lot of good information that I recommend people going on and checking out. It kind of you can have it does talk about like the Jack Sandlin thing, and then also the people that run it. They'll put on a personal presentation if you have a group of people, like I said. But really, there's not much to it. It's pretty easy. It's just if you want to get involved with the party or not, this is a really good way to start. These terms are for 4 years, and you can drop out anytime that you want. Hopefully, you don't. I don't plan on it unless I move. But that's pretty much all I have. It's if you have any questions, you can contact these people. If you want to put a comment below, you can. If you want to contact me, you can. Be able to answer it as best as I can. I mean, there's really not too much of the whole thing. It's really easy. It's pretty much free. So that's all I got. But until next time.